How y'all doing tonight? Tonight we're going to do a recipe. It's one of my childhood favorites. In fact, in the I think it's first or second grade, the teacher passed around something and asked what everybody's favorite dish was, and a lot of kids said hamburger or pizza. Mine was Lobster Thermidor. I guess my parents took me out to eat at a restaurant in town for my birthday when I was really little, and they said they'd ordered me Lobster Thermidor, and I liked it so much, it got to be my favorite food. So we're going to try to cook it tonight using kind of going by the Julia Child's recipe, which is, I know is a really good one. So we'll kind of get started. First, we're going to get the lobster, what we're going to steam or boil the lobsters, and we're going to get that ready. I've got a pot over here going on the stove. I don't have anything in it yet, but it's a big pot that holds a couple gallons of water. I've got some vegetables here. I've got 1 carrot, stalk of celery, and an onion all chopped up here. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that in the pot. Okay, I've got some spices here. I've got about 5 sprigs of this little tarragon here. I've got a bay leaf, a teaspoon of dried parsley. Okay, and I may have, let's see what else I've got in there. Yeah, with some black peppercorns, alright? Go ahead and put those in. And now for our liquid, we'll turn that on high heat. I've got some white wine, just got a nice Chardonnay here. Just a dry Chardonnay. I'm going to go ahead and put a bottle of white wine in here. So it's, we're not going to totally submerge these lobsters, mainly steam them. This also will make this kind of a broth too. So we go ahead and bring this up to a simmer, and once we get it there, we're going to let it simmer for about 15 minutes before we contemplate putting the lobsters in. Okay, first what I did is I let this wine simmer with the ingredients in the pot and let it simmer for about 10 minutes. Then I went ahead and I've got it to a boil now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add, I'm cooking 2 lobsters since I don't have that big of a pot. I'm just have to cook them one at a time. So I'm about to add my first lobster. Alright, so I got the pot to roll and boil. Got my first lobster. Got a nice little about 2.5 pounder. Go ahead and put it in head first. Just drop them on in there. Get the lid on the pot. We'll set our timer for 15 minutes. Okay, now we've given our lobster a good 15 minutes here in the steam. Go ahead and get it out. Grab it with these tongs. Not that easy to do. And I've got a ice bath sitting over here in the sink. I'm going to go ahead and put it down in this ice water to stop the cooking process and to help cool the meat off. So I'm going to go ahead and cook the next lobster now. Alright, done my second lobster here. Got it cooled up. Got my little helper over here now. And I'm going to put these lobsters, I'm trying to get it to where you can see. Got them on a cook sheet and just stretch them out to where they'll get straight, because you don't want these tails all curled up. Okay, just lay them like this. Just like that. I'm going to set them in the refrigerator for a bit, and we're going to strain that juice that we cooked them in. Now I'm going to take all this stuff, you can see these vegetables and stuff that are left in here, I'm going to strain this out and try to get as much liquid out of this as I can. Okay, I've got all these vegetables in this little strainer here over a little pot. I'm just going to squish all this juice out that I can, because this is going to be our lobster stock. This is what we're going to use to flavor this dish with. Now we're going to start breaking down these lobsters. I'm going to go ahead and get the lobster meat out of them. See, I've got me a little mat set down here. Just but it's going to get messy, I'll tell you that. So first off, what you want to do with the lobsters, you want to take the claws off of them. Okay, I'm going to just set that here in the sink. I've got a little bowl I'm putting the meat in down here. Set this claw, actually I'll set over here on the thing. The claws off first. Then you want to get your legs off. What I suggest is just take these legs and just, let's see if you can see there, just twist right there at that joint and pull it out and get that stuff there on the end. We're going to set these legs aside because I'm going to show you how to get some of the meat out of them. Go ahead and twist these off real quick over here. Alright, we got that. Okay. So we're just left here with this part of the lobster. Now this is what we're going to use to go ahead and get our tail meat out of here, and we're going to use this as a receptacle for the actual Lobster Thermidor. So what you want to do first, turn the lobster down toward facing me. You find this little line here on the head. You can see like the center line. I'm going to place my knife straight up and down right here. Plunge it down. Okay, and then I'm going to thrust it. I'm going to come this way with it. Okay. Come straight down. Just make a nice, kind of hold the shell a little bit here together. So you don't want it to totally bust or anything. Just make a little crack. Okay. Just wiggle it around a little bit. And like I said, it's not the cleanest thing in the world, but it's what you got to do. Okay, then we're going to turn them around. We're going to come back this other way. Okay. Come on down. All the way to the tail. Right there to the center. Let's crack it right now. Okay. Now I'm going to warn you, I'm going to break this thing open. And it's not going to look so pretty inside, but trust me, once we get this meat cleaned up, it's really nice. Okay. Put that right in half there. Go ahead, I'm going to flip this guy open. And what I want to do is I'm going to take my tail meat out first. Okay, I just get that here with my finger. We'll just pull that right out of the tail. Okay. You can see just great grade A meat. I'll rinse it off just for a second if you want to. I'm going to pull it apart. I'm going to put it down here. I don't know if you can't see my little bowl there in the sink that I'm collecting the meat in. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to cut this tail meat up a little bit into smaller pieces. The dish you want about something about like that, that. There we go. Okay. Put these little pieces here in the receptacle here for my meat. Alright. Now, this side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab all this stuff out with my fingers. That's some of the guts, the roes, stuff like that. A lot of people eat some of this stuff, but I just don't do it. But it's fine if you want to. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop that stuff out. Then I'm going to just wash the shell out. Let me go ahead and get some of this off in the garbage for you. Show you what we're kind of be dealing with. Just want to be careful not to really tear the shell. But you want to get this stuff out of the middle. You just want to haul this shell out and wash it out. And you want to set it aside. Like I've got some over here. So if you can see these. Just dry. And here's what it's going to look like. Okay, once you're done, you're just going to have a nice hollow shell. And this is what we're going to put the stuff in. So I'm going to go ahead and get these guys cleaned out. And then we'll start on the rest. Okay, we got that done. Now, wrong switch. Now we're going to move on to the claws. Should have had that light on the whole time. Alright, break this little piece off here. And watch with these claws, they got a lot of water and stuff in them. Just kind of shake them out over the sink. Just save you a little bit of cleanup time here, having stuff run all over your counter. Alright, this piece here, you have your cup tools. And one thing I have is a hammer. Bust that up a little bit. So once you get it cracked, pretty much work with it with your hands. Okay, and just kind of tear and pull at it. See, there's a good little bit of meat up in that little knuckle part there. Go ahead and salvage that. Get that down in there. Alright. Okay, there's another little chunk. Perfect, perfect. Really good stuff there. You don't want to leave any meat in this lobster. Okay, now here's this big claw. What I do with it, actually I kind of like a straight line crack with it. If you can, get your old, this is old Wusthof thing that came in a kit, like, just a heavy old chef's knife, and you want to hit it like just like that, right there, kind of by where it comes across. I'm trying to make a straight line crack. Sometimes you got to come back and hit it with that hammer something. If you go to the other side too. Hold on that knife well. Probably going to dry your hands first. Alright? Just like I said, I'll have to go get after it with the hammer just a little bit. Go ahead, do a little bit of that. Come back, hit it a time or two. Alright, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this small, the bottom half of the big pincher. I'm just going to kind of twist it and wiggle it. Try to do it like that and get it broken loose, okay? Once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and just try to kind of twist it on that, look, like that, and that relieves that meat that was in there. Alright, now for the big pincher, just go ahead and start breaking this shell up. Well, you want to make sure you have a little cut or a break right there. See, I didn't actually right there, so I'm going to hit again with the back of this knife. Okay? And just start it. Go ahead and have kind of a clean break in there with the shell, okay? There we go. Now go ahead and just break all this apart with my hands, just like that. You know, there's not really an art to this, and just kind of get at it. And there you go, you've got the full claw piece of meat. You gotta remember now, there is a little tendon inside there, or the little mechanism that makes the claw go in and out. And I'm gonna tear this meat up anyway, but I'm just gonna let you see it. There it is, like a little fan. And you don't want to eat that. It's a little piece of the cartilage or whatever. So go ahead and I'll tear this up and put it off in there. In a meat pile. And that would be for some good meat. And the same thing with the smaller claw. The other part of the lobster, a lot of people leave out, I was going to go ahead and show you, is the leg. And what you can do with these legs, you can get a good little bit of meat, especially doing something like this. I take the end right there at that joint, that last joint, right before that joint, and just snip it off with a pair of ketchup shears. Leave it open like that. I'm going to put it down your cutting board. Take a rolling pin. I don't have a rolling pin, so I just got a wine bottle. Press on it and just roll it, okay? Alright, and there you go. Look there. It doesn't look like much really right now, but you got, 6 or 7 legs. There's a good little piece of meat. So I'm going to go ahead and get this, the meat out of this here lobster, and then we're going to start on the rest of the recipe. Okay, now that we got all the lobster shells and lobster meat squared away, we're going to go ahead and get started on putting together the dish, the sauces and stuff like that. First, I've got a little skillet down here heating up. I'm going to saute some mushrooms. I've got a tablespoon of butter, okay? Then I've got a teaspoon of lemon juice. What I'm going to do, just melt that. Give me something to stir that around with. My old handful of wooden spatula here. Yep. So you get that melted down, and I've got a ½ pound of mushrooms here. Now I'm going to take that, and I'm going to pour the mushrooms in here. I'm going to put a lid on it, and I'm going to let it simmer on low heat for about 10 minutes. Okay? So once I get this melted down, I'm going to put these mushrooms in and let them simmer on low heat with the lid on for 10 minutes. Okay, got a ½ pound of mushrooms in there. Turn it down to low heat, cover it. I'm going to let this go for 10 minutes, alright? Okay, my assistant chef here tonight is my nephew Alex. Say hey, Alex. Wave to the camera. Well, he's kind of shy, but he's really good. He's the one who knows about this recipe now. Okay, now we've let those mushrooms sweat there for 10 minutes. Go ahead and take these off. I've got a little bowl here. Let's see. See where you can see. Alright, but if you'll notice, there's juice in here. Now we want this juice, so I'm going to go ahead and put these mushrooms in this bowl with the juice. Go over on this side here so you can see. Alright, and there's nice mushrooms. Great. And I'm going to combine that juice with that lobster stock we had from just a little while ago. There's a piece of that butter packet on there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I've got this this lobster stock here, and I'm going to set it down over here and just drain these mushrooms off into it. Okay, with all their juice. Perfect. I just want to get all that juice out of these mushrooms. Without all the mushrooms. Get that one out of there. Okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and turn my skillet up to about a little bit of medium-high heat because I'm going to build a roux. I have got some butter here. I've got 5 tablespoons of butter, softened butter. You can get all that in there. Spatula. That off in there. And just melt it down. And I have got some flour. I've got about probably 6 tablespoons of flour, almost a half a cup of flour. So we'll melt this butter down. I'm going to add this flour and we're going to build a nice little blonde roux. Okay, got this butter hot here. I'm going to go ahead and start adding this flour. On here, we're just going to keep stirring it. We've got to stir it constantly. We're going to build a roux, but we don't want to brown it. All we want to do is just cook this flour out just a little bit because you really need some thickening power. See, a blonde roux has a lot more thickening power than a darker roux. Stir that in. You don't ever want to quit stirring a roux. You want to break up all these lumps. As soon as you quit stirring a roux, it's done. It's going to burn. Okay. Got it there. Like I said, it's blonde, you know. Take the flour off of there. Alright, now that I got this roux like I want it, go ahead and turn this heat off for a second. We'll start drizzling in this lobster broth with that juice in there. Let me get a whisk for this. Okay? Switch up hands here. It's kind of just hard to do trying to keep it on film, but you just want to drizzle in this lobster broth little bit by little bit because that's what you're going to start getting to thickening up. Okay? Let me put you down here a little bit so you can see. Okay? I'm going to keep going with this until I've got 2.5 cups of this juice that I cooked those lobsters in and that mushroom juice. See, it's thick, thick, thick still now. I'll add this little bit by little bit until I get it all mixed in. Okay, now that I've got all that, about 2.25 cups of that broth in there, I've got 1 tablespoon of cream. I'm just going to put that in here. That's heavy whipping cream. It's looking good. Just 1 tablespoon of heavy whipping cream. Alright, got this mixed in. I'm going to set this aside for a minute and we're going to get up going with some of our other ingredients. Okay, now I've got a bigger skillet on here. Got my heat off. We'll go ahead and start getting in some other ingredients here. I've got a half a cup of the heavy whipping cream. Okay, I'm going to put that down. I've got a tablespoon of dry mustard, and I've got a pinch of cayenne pepper. And put that in there. Okay. Well, get the pinch of cayenne pepper come out of there. Get the rest of that cream. And now I've got 2 egg yolks. Alright, let's get those in there. It's real important to get all of that. Actually, I'm going to take my whisk and just get all that out of there. Meanwhile, I've had my oven heating to 425. That's what that little noise was. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, stir all this up. Like I said, this is on a cold skillet. And just mix it in. Now I'm going to take the sauce that I just made, or the gravy, I guess you would say. I'm just going to put it in little bit by little bit, right here into this sauce, okay? So I'm going to keep on doing that until I get all this in, and then we'll be able to turn the heat on. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and kick the heat on this skillet to about medium-high. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it to a low boil. I'm going to let it simmer. Okay, I'm going to let it simmer or kind of low boil for about 2 minutes as soon as it comes up to temperature. And during that time, it depends on how thick it gets, I may have to add some cream, but we'll see. Okay, I've let this sauce sit here and kind of boil for about 2 minutes. It's gotten really thick on me. So I've got about 4 or 5 tablespoons of cream. I'm just kind of work this in there, okay, until it gets just where it coat the back of the spoon. It's a nice sauce, okay. Go ahead and just stir that in there, and I've just turned my heat off. So this is kind of cooling this sauce. So this is really and even making it get thicker. But then again, this cream is going to thin out, so it's going to be really thick and really rich, okay. Now, got all that cream in there. We'll stir it just for a second. We go ahead and just show you here with the spoon. You'll see how you just reach in, see how it just coats that back of the spoon. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So also what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it off the burner. I'm actually going to clean this pan out. I'm going to use it again. I've got a glass bowl over here. I'm just going to put this sauce over here in this bowl, and we'll clean out this pan. We'll get to the next step. Okay, I've got my skillet back on here, nice and hot. I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of butter to it. Now, I'm going to let this butter just cook up until it gets nice and foamy. I look at it, it's already, just melting pretty quick. I'm going to stir it around almost like I was getting ready just to make a roux. Then, once it starts to foam up, once it all melts in, I'm about to stir this lobster meat back in there. Good. Let that butter go for a second. Just pull this lobster meat apart the rest of the way in your bigger pieces. As soon as I get all this butter melted, I'm going to put that lobster back in. Okay, I've got this butter, it's a nice little foam. I'm going to pour in all this lobster meat. Man, that looks good. I tell you what, some of these bigger pieces I still kind of pull them apart. Just want it to spread out and get that back in that shell really nicely. Okay. And I'm going to turn my heat down, and we're just going to let this simmer here on this butter for 5 minutes, okay? Yeah. Alright, now we've had this simmering here for about 5 minutes, and that's the reason, you don't have to cook your lobster for all that long. If it's a little underdone, that's fine, because you can cook a lot more in this recipe. Go ahead and turn my heat up to about medium-high. I've got some cognac here, just, I don't know, about a half a cup of cognac. Go ahead and add this. This is an important addition to this dish. It adds for some of the flavor. Alright, and with, anytime you're cooking with alcohol, you just got to know that once it starts evaporating, those fumes are the flammable part. So I've got me a lid here for if this thing, just starts to catch or anything like that, And like I said, a lot of times it'll just catch up a little bit, or I'll go ahead and just light it or tilt it to the heat, so we don't have to worry about it. Let's see if this lighter to work. There we go. We'll just let some of that cognac just burn off and get my wooden spatula out of here. But we're going to let this sit here and cook for probably about, I'd say about 2 minutes. Just for a second, I'm going to go ahead and set my timer. Alright, and I'll put the top on here and just get these flames out. I'll let that sit there and simmer and kind of cook the alcohol out of it for about 2 minutes. Okay, now that it's cooked for about 2 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat up back on down. I'll put these mushrooms in there. Okay, stir those on in. Yeah, I went ahead and took out about 1/3 of this cream. I want to go ahead and put in the rest of it. I'm just going to stir this on in. I tasted this cream earlier. It's literally heaven on earth. I tell you what, I cannot believe how rich and seafoody it is. It's wonderful. This is seafood lobster cream. I'll get all as much of that as I can out of there. And we're just going to kind of fold this in. Okay? And what this is going to be our stuffing that we actually stuff the lobster with. We get a slotted little spoon here. We're going to get this lobster in the shells, and it's just going to be wonderful. Okay, also to this, I think it'd be really, really nice. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Just gonna take a couple little handfuls, a handful there, a little cheese in there, taste. Just gonna stir this in. Oh gosh, I mean this is just awesome. Go ahead and stir it in, like I said, cut my heat down, take it off the heat, stir it up for a minute, and then we'll spoon in the shells. Okay, now, what I did is I took my lobster shells on a cookie sheet, I put some foil down just to get them to stay still, you know, where they won't tump over. I'm going to start just taking this this filling here, I'm scooping some like a little slide spoon here, and just putting it into the cavities, okay? And just filling it up. And this is going to be wonderful. So we'll keep doing this. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to pack it in there. You want to lightly let it just fall into place, because you pack it, it'll just give it a bad consistency. So go ahead and just scoop it in just like this. I'll let some of the sauce drip off of it, but don't worry, that won't be to waste. I'm going to save that if we have any extra. It's going to be an awesome seafood pasta. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop all this stuff and get in the shells. Okay, I made sure I scooped all the meat and the mushrooms out of the sauce, put it in these lobster shells, and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of cheese on here still, just a tiny bit of this Parmigiano Reggiano, and we're going to pop it in the oven. I've had this oven preheated at 425. I'm going to leave it there about 10 minutes, then we're going to check it. This is just going to be awesome. Alright, they've been in there for 10 minutes, nice and bubbly, a little bit brown on top, just perfect. Let me go ahead and plate these up. These are just wonderful. I just cannot wait to taste them. Alright, I got them plated up, and don't they look good? Just fabulous, fabulous food right there. I mean, you cannot beat good lobster thermidor. It takes a long time to make, but it's really worth it. This would be a great dish to make for your Valentine's or something like that. And the reserve sauce that we had left over, I went ahead and put that aside. I'm going to make some wonderful pasta out of it. It's just a lobster cream sauce. So I'm really proud of this dish. It's really, really good. And we're about to just dig in. I went ahead and, to be honest, I had a little bite, and it is just heaven on earth. It is really, really scrumptious.